It was Christmas Eve when I was 10 years old that I first realized that my family may not be the normal type of family. Most children take living every day with their family for granted. My family situation is different and can be described as a blended family. My mother had my older brother, Jared, when she was previously married, and my father had my older sister, Ashley, with his previous wife. Both of my parents got divorced, eventually met, and married. A few years later, I was born. That makes Jared my half-brother and Ashley my half-sister. On Christmas Eve, my 15 cousins, aunts, uncles, and my family all get together at my grandparents' house to celebrate the holiday. It is our family tradition for everyone to sit down together for dinner, and then all the grandchildren go down to the basement and play various board games while the adults clean up. Since I am one of the youngest of all the cousins, I would get picked on the most. My older cousin Matthew said, "I don't care who wins this game as long as we don't let Nick win." All my cousins laughed and agreed to gang up on me throughout the game. I guess they all knew that winning was very important to me. I responded, "I'm going to prove you wrong one of these times." However, that never seemed to happen. It was fun having all my family together, though. After the adults had cleaned up the dishes from dinner, we heard a knock on the front door. Everyone gathered in the living room, and to our surprise, Santa was at the door carrying a sack of presents. Santa sat in my pop-pop's chair and pulled out presents from his sack for each and every grandchild. When my name was called, I crawled onto Santa's lap and opened my present. After opening my present, I asked him, "Are you the real Santa?" "Well, of course I am," he responded. "How are you able to be here right now? Shouldn't you be at the North Pole packing your sleigh with toys for all the boys and girls?" "If you keep asking all these questions, I'll be sure not to come to your house later tonight with your presents," Santa said jokingly. Santa called my brother's name next, and Jared went up to Santa to get his present. It was then, when Jared asked Santa if he would deliver his toys to his mom's house or his dad's house, that I realized my family was different. My cousins were confused by Jared's question because they didn't understand why he had two sets of parents. They all then looked at Jared, Ashley, and me, and for the first time, my idea of what I believed was a normal family was being challenged, and in fact, my family is different. That night, after leaving my grandparents' house, I knew my family would not get to all go home together like most normal families to spend the entire Christmas holiday together. After driving home, my dad drove Ashley to her real mom's house to spend the night, and Jared went to spend the night at his dad's house, while I went home to a quiet house with my parents. Being part of a blended family is not always easy. My brother Jared told me before he left, "I wish I didn't have to go to my dad's house tonight." "Then don't go," I answered back. Jared said he had to go because his dad was expecting him, but promised that when he returned home the next day, we would play with all our new toys and that I shouldn't be upset. Ashley tried to explain to me why our family was different, but I still was not willing to accept it. She told me, "I have two families, one with you, Jared, your mom, and dad, and then another with my other mom, stepdad, and my sisters. Since my parents are no longer married, I need to spend equal time with both of them." I responded to her saying, "Do you like being different and having two families?" She admitted, "When I was younger, I had a hard time adjusting to going back and forth between two homes and two families. I have two bedrooms, two sets of clothing, and different friends. You are lucky that you're able to live with both of your parents all the time. It never made sense to me why my family couldn't be together all the time like other normal families." Every child waits 365 days for Christmas morning when they can wake up, celebrate the holiday with their family, and especially open brand new presents. However, it wasn't that simple for my family and me. My parents insisted that we open our presents as a family, so I had to wait for my brother and sister to return home from their other parents' homes before opening any presents. I said, "This isn't fair. Jared and Ashley received double the amount of presents than me, and you are still going to make me wait." My parents did feel bad about this, so they let me pick one present from under the tree to open. Out of all my cousins, we are the only blended family. After opening my one present, I got ready and went to church at 9 a.m. with my parents. After church, my entire family met at a restaurant for breakfast. My cousins were excited, talking about all their new toys and presents that they received that morning from Santa. I sat quietly because I was the only one who had not yet opened my Christmas presents. To say the least, I was very cranky this Christmas morning. My grandma noticed I was upset at breakfast and asked me what was wrong. I responded by saying, "It's not fair how Ashley and Jared received double the amount of presents than I do, and it is hard only getting to see them half the time since they have to spend time with their other family too." She replied, "I understand why you are upset, but that should make you that much more thankful that you have them in the first place. Many kids don't have any brothers or sisters like several of your cousins. At that moment, I was not in the mood to listen or willing to understand what she was saying. Looking back now, I realize that I am grateful to have siblings, and it is not their fault that they have two families and can't spend all their time with my parents and me. After breakfast, my brother and sister met us at our house, and our family celebration was finally able to begin. I never understood why they were so lucky to receive double the amount of presents, but now I wouldn't change it for anything. Although we do not have the same set of parents, my brother, sister, and I all respect and love each other similarly to any other family. Jared and his stepdad, who is my real dad, treat each other as though they are blood related. Jared calls him dad, as well as my dad calls him son. The same goes for Ashley and my mom. Often, when we are around other people, they actually forget or do not realize that we are a blended family. Growing up, I thought my family was normal, like every other family, but quickly learned that was not the case. My family situation is different, and even though this was not always easy, I learned being different is not always bad.